Hello, Perfect Game softball officials, and welcome to our off-season training development. Today, we're going to be looking at the Perfect Game softball official rulebook as it applies to obstruction and looking at some real-life video examples. Before diving into video examples, we first must understand what the obstruction rule is and what it says. Now, the Perfect Game softball official rulebook defines obstruction as such. Obstruction occurs when a defensive player who is not in possession of the ball, or in the act of fielding a batted ball, hinders the batter's attempt to make contact with a pitch, or impedes the progress of any runner who is legally running the bases on a live ball. Obstruction can be physical, verbal, intentional, or unintentional. Obstruction shall be ruled if a defensive player is blocking the whole plate or base path without possession of the ball and or the runner does not have a path to the plate or base. In breaking this down, there are many buckets that obstruction can fall into. However, we will be able to add clarity in the video examples that we view. It should be noted that any time that obstruction is ruled, the official should give the delayed dead ball signal, verbalize obstruction, and wait for playing action to cease. Let's look at our first example of obstruction. In our first example, you're going to see the batter put the ball into play in a ground ball that's going to make it to the outfield. The runner at second base is going to come into the plate, and we're going to have a potential play at the plate. Let's watch the video. Let's watch it again one more time, but now we're going to focus on the action that occurs at the plate. Let's talk about this. Now, when we're talking about obstruction, let's look at what happened at the plate. This still shot shows the catcher does not have possession of the ball yet. However, we can see the plate right behind her, and the catcher is blocking the entire path to the plate. This is obstruction. The umpire should give the delayed dead ball signal, raising their left arm straight out and verbalizing obstruction. At this point, once the playing action has ended, the plate official shall award the base runner home plate. Let's look at another example. This example is going to be a lot closer than our last example. Now, let's break it down as we watch the video. Here, I must applaud the catcher. She has done everything right up to this point. The catcher comes out in front of the plate, establishes herself at the front of the plate, and allows the base runner a path to the backside of the plate. She is not currently guilty of obstruction. Let's watch as the play progresses in live speed, and then we'll further break it down. Let's watch it one more time. Now, initially, as you can see, the base runner runs into the catcher's foot. Now, the first bucket of what we talked about in the first video was the catcher blocking the entire path to the plate. In this video, she is not. As you can see, she is not blocking the entire path to the plate. She allows the base runner the option to slide to the backside of the plate. Now, based off of that, this would not be obstruction. However, as the catcher continues the progression of the play, she moves her left foot to impede the runner's progress towards the plate as she is sliding. Whether this is purposeful or accidental, it does cause the runner to slide into her left foot, preventing her from ever reaching home plate. Obstruction in this instance should be ruled because the catcher hindered and impeded the opportunity for the base runner to reach the plate by moving her foot there. The plate official should signal delayed dead ball, verbalize obstruction, and award the base runner home plate. Let's look at a less common example of obstruction. live speed, this is difficult to see. However, through the progression of this replay, we will see clear and obvious obstruction which needed to be ruled. Here we do not see the fielder blocking the path to the bag. However, we do have the fielder wrap her right arm around the batter runner and attempt to slow her down and grab her to prevent her progress towards first base. This is obstruction and needs to be ruled. The field official should signal delayed dead ball, verbalize obstruction, and award the batter runner first base. See if you can catch it with this slow motion video. I hope you found this video beneficial in your development of your game. Remember, obstruction occurs when a defensive player who is not in possession of the ball or in act of fielding a batted ball hinders the batter's attempt to make contact with a pitch or impedes the progress of any runner who is legally running the bases on a live ball. Obstruction can be physical, verbal, intentional, or unintentional. Obstruction shall be ruled if a defensive player is blocking the whole plate or base path without possession of the ball, and or the runner does not have a path to the plate or base. Having an understanding of obstruction is key to your progression of your game and understanding of the rules. Very simply put, if a defender does not have possession of the ball and they are hindering or blocking the entire path to the base or plate, we should have obstruction.